Hello my friends, I hope you are doing well. In this video, I will be doing a review of the Franklin Planner Organizer in the A5 size. This video is different in that I normally do reviews on ring-bound planners and binders and wire-bound planners like this. But in this video, I wanted to show you, and I thought it'd be interesting to my subscribers to show you another option, and that is this bounded planner that you see here. Actually, on the website they call this a binding notebook. So in this video I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this planner as I see it, and also if you're interested in this planner, at the end of this video I will show you how to purchase it, because this is actually a Japanese planner with English writing on it. So in order to purchase it, you have to purchase from a Japanese website, which I will walk you through at the end of this video. All of the other items that you see in this video can be found on the Franklin Planner USA website, and you can save money with these items with discount promo code Tonya Plans, and I will have them linked underneath this video as well. Now, when I placed the order for this package, to be honest with you, I was a little nervous. I never ordered from a website outside of the country, so I was a little nervous about it, but it went well. I received the planner in about 5 business days after I placed the order. So when it arrived, it came in a package like this, and it says organizers in English and Franklin planners in English, but a lot of the writing is in Japanese. And as you can see here, this is the A5 size, and on the back here it shows you some of the forms that comes with this planner. So when it arrived, it comes in 2 booklets. So you get a smaller booklet like this, as well as a booklet like this, the thicker one. One thing that is appealing about this, and ignore this piece right here, I'm going to get to this in a moment. I placed this piece of plastic in here. But what is a pro and appealing about this planner is that you get a full year of daily inserts in one booklet. That means you can carry a full year of dailies with you at all times. Whereas when you use a binder like this with dailies, when I say daily inserts, right now I'm talking about a day on 1 page or a day on 2 pages. This planner, the Japanese planner, is a day on 1 page. The planner that I use now is a day on 2 pages. So because every day has 2 pages, there's no way, unless you have ginormous rings that don't exist, that you can carry a full 365 days of daily inserts in your hands at all times. What we normally got to do is carry like 3 or so months of daily inserts in our planner, because if not, it gets too full and then you can't turn the pages in the rings. So that was one pro with this, is that you have your whole year with you at all times with this planner. Another thing about this planner that is appealing, that would be a pro, is that with refills like this, now don't get me wrong, I love my ring bound planner and I don't plan to change using a ring bound planner, because a pro to the ring bound planner is that you have flexibility to move pages in and out of your planner. Obviously, with a bound planner like this, you don't have that same flexibility. You can't say, oh, you know what, I don't want for example, I don't want a finance section here because I'm changing my mind about how I'm doing my finances and I want to keep them separate. You can't make those decisions when the planner is already pre-bounded like this. So that is a huge advantage of ring bound planners, is that you have the flexibility to use different forms. You have the flexibility to add and remove things as you like, and that is certainly a plus with ring bound planners, because I found with doing planning over the years, my planning style changes over time. So how I plan today may not be how I plan tomorrow. So one thing about this planner is, because it's bound, you're stuck with how the pages come. Let's get into, I know you want to see how this planner is on the inside. So this is how the binding looks. It's not pretty, and right here you can see this is where they attach these 2 bookmarks. You have 2 ribbons. They're very thin. One is white, one is burgundy, but this is how you can mark your pages in this binding notebook. But you see it is like glued here, so that's where that is. So what this means to me is that if you wanted to change these colors, you could certainly certainly glue additional ribbons, or you can change the ribbon colors if you want a certain type of color scheme with your planner. But the binding is not attractive, so this planner is meant to be used in a cover. This front page is a hard cardstock, so it is meant to be able to be slipped into a cover. And let me do that real quick so I can show you. So here is a Franklin Planner cover that I have that I got from the United States, and it is in the classic size. Now in a minute I'm going to show you, I'm going to compare the classic size page, which I have here, to this, which is an A5 size, so you can get an idea on what the difference in size is. So how this works is you would take this binder, and the back cover is a harder cardstock as well. And oh, excuse these marks because I had it in here and some of the dye rubbed off on the planner. So when you put this in, you put it in like that, and notice how sleek that profile is. Now this footprint, of course, is a lot smaller than this footprint will be. But like if you compare the footprints of these two, as you can see, there is a major difference. So one advantage to using the binding notebook would be that you'll have a smaller footprint. Your weight should be lighter because you don't have metal rings. You don't have to worry about the weight of the binder. Everything is more compact, as you can see here. If we compare this like this way, you can see that this binder comes out more. But there is a disadvantage. I think that this should come out more. There's no way I could put a pin in here. Well, maybe I could, but it'll be awfully tight. It will hit against this. So if you plan to put tabs in this binding notebook, you have to be careful that you get a binder where the pen loop and your pen isn't hitting against the tab, because that will bend your tabs and look unsightly. So let's get back to showing you what is inside of this organizer. This planner comes with 2 booklets. So this is the booklet that you would carry around with all 365 days in one notebook, where this organizer, this little booklet here, which is thinner, has all of your forms. So we're going to talk about these forms in a moment, but let me show you the main planner because that's probably what you're most interested in. So when you open this up, you have an information page, and here you can put your name, address, phone number, and other information. And beside the English, you will see that there is Japanese. Besides this first page here, now this kind of sticks up, but as far as laying flat, it gets an A+. That is a pro to this planner. As soon as I took it out of the package and I opened it up, it totally laid flat. And if it, as soon as you do that, it is totally flat. So that is an advantage, because I hate when I have bound booklets and I'm trying to write and the booklet is trying to close on my hand. No one has time for that. So we love how the stitching here, I think that's a certain type of stitching that allows for booklets to lay flat. And I'm very happy that this booklet has that. After the information page, there's some information here about the Japanese Franklin Planner Company on this side. And then over here, you come to the 2021 calendar. You have a 2022 calendar. And let me show you this up close so you can see how the fonts look up close. So the 2021 calendar is here. And as you will see, some dates are highlighted. These are probably Japanese holidays. So then you have a whole year calendar here for 2022. This allows you to plan out in the future. Now, these next few pages, you get into your monthly calendars. So your monthly calendars are on 2 pages. And what's nice is that it included December of 2020 in this planner. So let's take a closer look at this. This has a Monday start. Now, I hear comments from my subscribers all the time where they talk about, well, I like a Monday start. Oh, I like a Sunday start. It's really hard to please everyone. If you look at your monthly calendar in the American version, Sunday is the start date on the monthly calendar. So on this, you have a Monday start date. And sometimes people like Monday start dates because they plan on the weekends. They want to see their weekends together. So if you're doing something, if you're taking a weekend trip or you're doing something that expands over the weekend, it's easier to just draw a line because Saturday and Sunday are next to each other than having to wrap back around to Sunday, which will be on this side in the American version. As you go through this planner, you're going to see Japanese writing. So what I do, I don't speak Japanese, but because we are in this day and time, you can easily download an app. I happen to use the Google Translate app, and you can download any app that does this. It will tell you what the Japanese writing says. I just translated that, and this means business. So right here on the side of the calendar, it says Master Goals and Tasks. Now this planner does not have a separate page for its Master Task List. The Master Task List is on the side here on the calendar, on the monthly planner pages. So I'll show you the Master Task List in the English version in a second. Here you would put your business items, and here I'm assuming you would put your personal items. So let me show you. Now I did notice with this planner, sometimes instead of saying personal, it will say private, which really means the same thing. But here is the master task list in the English version. And here you have a column for personal, and here you have a column for business. But you have a whole page for this. So if you're the type of person that needs a whole page for your master task list, this may not work for you because the space here is limited. But if you're a person that where you had the master task list and you hardly ever used it, then this might work for you. So just to give you a reminder, the master task list is where you put non-specific dates. So if you have something that you want to do in the month of February, for example, because this is what we're looking at, but you don't have a date for it, it will go on your master task list. You just know that you want to plan to do it sometime that month. But this serves as a reminder. So when you're doing your weekly planning, you can come back here and say, oh yeah, you know what, I need to schedule that. I happen to have here that I need to get a Tdap shot in February. I don't have a date for it yet, but it's just a reminder that I need to get that done. Now on the monthly calendar pages, you will see here, these are called, I believe, Rokyo symbols. And I don't know much about, I don't speak Japanese, but I was looking it up. And from what I understand, these symbols beside each day represent a traditional Japanese calendar. It is a monthly calendar where days are labeled with Rokyo, and I may be saying that incorrectly and I apologize. It has to do with a cycle of 6 days said to predict good or bad fortune that day. So I believe people in other countries use these symbols to plan weddings, to plan funerals, etc. As you will notice here, and I'm going to turn to the next month for January 2021, you will notice that in there you will see highlighted New Year's Day, and here something is on the 11th. It says Coming of Age Day. Now, so one con of this planner, if you are in the United States, is that there again are no American holidays on this planner, and also I noticed there are no moon phases on this monthly calendar. So if you look at the Franklin planner, moon phases are on the calendar. So as you can see, it says first quarter moon, and some people use moon phases to help predict their mood and help decide what moves they're going to make that day. Now the lines, as you can see, I'm just going to flip through here. It has lightly colored lines. I like how the lines are lightly colored. I think that when I write on this paper, which I'm going to do a pen test toward the end of this video, and I like how the lines are lighter because I think my pen marks will show up pretty good. I don't like planners where the lines are so dark it's competing with the ink in my ink pen here. Now as you can see, as I'm turning, this is a new planner, I'm just lightly folding. I'm not pressing or doing anything hard like that, but it's very easy for this to lie flat. There are no issues with that. So this planner is for 2021, but you get future planning pages because oftentimes we get dates where we need to plan for or make note of them in the current year for a year that is in the future. So you get a 2022 future planning page, and it is in a vertical/horizontal format like this. Now in the American version with the original planner, you get future planning pages that look like this. It's a whole month on one page. So you can put dates and stuff in here and have a visual look at how your future year is going to look. However, these are all in a horizontal format. The months are across the top. So this is all of January, this is all of February, all of March, and so on and so forth. You have 6 months on a 2-page spread, and then when you turn the page, you have the last 6 months on the next page. Okay, so now we're getting into the meat of the planner here. here. Now, for each week, you get 8 pages. You get a day for each page, as shown here. Get a weekly compass and a weekly task page. I think this is wonderful because if you have the daily planner format, sometimes you need to step back and take a look at your whole week because sometimes we can get fragmented by planning just by days. So it's important, I feel, to step back and look at the whole week. So the weekly compass, of course, in the American version, it looks like this. We get a pouch page finder. We put the weekly compass inside the pouch page finder. So here in the Japanese version, you will see that the weekly compass is up here. So here is what it translates to. The top one says flesh, so that has to do with your physical well-being. Next, it says intellectual. That has to do with social and emotional well-being, I believe. Well, would that be, hold on. Okay, intellectual would probably have to do with mental well-being. And then down here are your weekly tasks. Okay, let's talk about this quote here in the middle of the page because I notice each week there is a quote written in Japanese in the middle of the page. And I just translated this one. And one time I translated one, it was a quote by Stephen Covey, and I thought that was cool. But this quote says, "The important thing is to not prioritize the schedule, but to schedule what you should prioritize." And I can't pronounce that person's name. So here in the weekly task section, because here you can put in your symbols, here you can put in your alphabet to prioritize, and here's a Q. I believe that Q has to do with quarter. So I'm not sure if that has to do with the time matrix and how it's divided into 4 quadrants. Let me just show you that real quick. I did a video on the time matrix and it talks about how to determine what's important, but this is in Japanese, but you get the point. I'll put a link to that video where I talk about the time quadrants. I don't know if that relates to the time quadrants, or maybe it helps you prioritize if you say, well, you know what, this is not a Q2 activity, this is Q1 or something, and it helps you determine what you need to do first. So I just translated this. This says weekly task, and this says looking back, and that's interesting. I wonder how that looking back column could be used. If you know, let me know in the comments. So let's get into the daily spread. And I'm going to show you this up close because I hate to look at planner videos where people are showing stuff way back here and you can't see. So I like to put my stuff up close so you can see exactly what you're getting. Are you finding this video helpful? If so, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would subscribe. So at the top here, you get 1 month, and as you can see here, Sundays are in red. At the top here is a quote in Japanese. Monday is in English, and this is December 12, 2028. Starting with this week because this is the first week of the new year. It includes the 28th. So here you get a section, a column where you can write down your symbol. Here you get a section where you can prioritize with A, B, and C. And here's a section where you can write in activities. And here is a prioritized daily task list. So basically what you're looking at here, there are 3 columns where you can write in a daily task list. Now I believe, see how it says Q2 activities? So I really think that Q has to do with the quadrants. So Q2 activities are those activities that are both important and not urgent. And those activities you can put here. So those should be prioritized, shouldn't they? Because they fall in the right quadrant on the time matrix. All your other activities you can put over here. Now I like to break my task list out into a couple of sections. I like to have a personal one and a work one. Well, you have room here to do that with this task list. You can make this one, the middle one, work, and this one personal if you like, and then put other important activities here. You have your appointment schedule here. It starts at 7 a.m. and it ends in 2200 military time. So that is, now I struggle with military time. I've never been in the military and I haven't dealt much with military, so I would struggle with this. For me, I would consider military time a con, but I understand military time is universal. Everyone uses military time. So this would be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So okay, so this goes to 10 p.m. So you can schedule appointments from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And over here is our daily notes. And guys, I gotta tell you, I am in love with grid paper. I would prefer to write on grid paper to line paper any day. I think it's the accountant in me that I like to line up numbers. I like the blocks. I like geometry. It's just, if it's grid paper, makes so much sense to me. Because this this appointment schedule line is lined up with the daily notes, you could ignore these times and these are light enough where you can just write all the way across. If you need this whole section for daily notes or for something else, you don't have to use the appointment schedule. So you can start writing over here and write all of your notes like it's a full page there. That's one option. And I think about that option because a lot of times with my day on 2 pages, sometimes I don't have an appointment to put over here. And I feel like this is wasted space sometimes because I'm like, wow, and I'll go ahead and I'll fill in how I'm spending my time. Here I put in that I'm going to work. Here I have is my lunch time. I have to go to the ATM during my lunch break. I've not had a conference call here. Sometimes I have things to put in, but sometimes I wonder, is it really necessary for me to map all that out and waste all this space? And maybe I could have a thinner planner, and maybe I should go on a day on 1 page, but I don't know. I really like having a full page of daily notes. But anyway, sometimes I wonder about that. So this will give you the option. If you don't have any appointments for that day, this means you could use this whole section for daily notes. You can put in your own quote. You can put in your own Bible verse. You can put in your stickers. Now let's talk about, so each page looks like this. It's the same as you just saw here. So I'm going to just flip through. Now as you will see here, on the side there are your numbers. So on the side there are no tabs that stick out. This is just straight across. But if you want to go to February, this is January, that's February, that's March, and so on and so forth. So if you want to go to February, you could just grab that section and go to February like that. And that's why I was playing with this. This is a piece of acetate and I attached it with washi. You could divide sections of this planner. If you can't stand not having tabs, you can put tabs up here. You just can add your own tabs if you like. Or you can do sections like this. So if I wanted to say, okay, well, this is where February starts and I wanted a marker, this acetate you can print on. And I did a video showing how you can print on acetate. I will link it underneath this video, but it's really, really simple. So you can customize this planner with sections as you would a notebook. And I was testing out this washi and it works pretty good. It's not, I know this looks probably kind of sloppy because I was just trying it out really quick. Let me show you this up close. So I just took a piece of paper, acetate here, and put some washi tape on it, and it folds. The planner still lies flat. You can't even tell it's there. So this is a good option for dividing sections if you need to do that. One thing that is kind of a con for me for this planner, and it may not be for some other people, is that you only get one, wait a minute, I'm just realizing something. So at first I was going to say that you only get 1 month up here, where with the daily original format, but see how you get 3 months here? You get the current month, the prior month, and the future month. I use that. Like if I'm trying to plan out my paydays, trying to figure out when I'm going to do something, that prevents me from flipping back and forth to these monthly tabs to try to figure out something. I really like having multiple months up here. Now at first I was going to say you only get 1 month, but looking at this, you get 2 months. You get the current month, because we are in March on this page. You get the current month and the future month. So if you're trying to plan out your paydays, trying to plan out when you're going to do something, what weekend something falls on, those months are right here. Another advantage is that I found that sometimes with the day on 2 pages, I am constantly moving things that I can't get to the next day. So I'm having to write that over. Now that could be a good thing and a bad thing, but let's say I don't get to this task right here, and so I have to now add it to the next day. I have to write it in and add it, and it's annoying, so it makes me want to do it because I don't want to rewrite it over again. So that's a good thing. It makes you want to do it. But with this format, or with any day on 1 page, even if you get the American version, you can write in a task, and if you don't get to it, you can kind of not write it over, and you can just continue to work from the previous day's list, if that makes sense. So that gives you almost 2 days to accomplish something instead of just 1 day and having to write it over again. At the bottom here, it just says Franklin Covey Company, and that's the website. And up here are these symbols, and I'm pretty sure they're similar to our symbols like completed, forwarded, delegated, etc. But those are just in Japanese, which is really, really small. Now, the day that you're on up here is highlighted in bold. I like that. I've seen planners that don't highlight the day that you're on, and I'm kind of like just searching, like, wait, first I gotta figure out what day I'm on before I can figure out what I'm trying to do here. So they bolded the 18th and 19th because this is the 18th and 19th right here. Also, I noticed here on the side, they also have the month written, the year, and it says daily. So I'm just going to flip through here. All of the pages are the same. So let me show you when you get to the back, and then we're going to talk about this paper. When you get to the back, this finishes up on January 1st, 2022. There are 5 pages of lined note paper, just 5 pages. One con to this planner is that there is no monthly index. Now, I use my monthly index, and here is an example of my monthly index, and I'm trying to cover up some of my personal information here. But for example, at the top of this monthly index, I have that the date that I took my dog to the vet. I like monthly indexes because they operate as a table of contents. When you have daily planner pages, if I wanted to figure out the date my dog went to the hospital, I don't want to flip through 365 pages. I need an index where I can quickly go there and say, oh, it happened on this date, and notes related to that appointment are on this particular day. And that's how you use the monthly index. So, but that can be easily remedied. You probably can use these sheets in the back. And again, I said there are 5 of these blank pages. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there are 5 of these sheets. If that's not enough, you can add a supplemental notebook. Another pro to having a binding notebook is that you don't have to worry about storage binders. So storage binders, let me grab one. Storage binders look like this, and I almost have to buy one of these every year to put my excess planner pages in when they don't go, because they all will not fit in my regular binder. So if you don't have extra binders lying around, you almost have to buy storage binders to put extra planner pages in, and that is a little bit of an extra expense. With this, when you're done with the year, you have a nice neat booklet you can put on your shelf. Nice and neat. Nothing else you need. Your whole year is in one booklet. Here's what you did for 1 year of your life, all nice and neat and compact. So now let's talk about the paper, because you know the paper has to be thin in order to get all 365 days in this nice, neat binding book. So the paper that is used, according to the website, this paper is called Tomoe River paper. Tomoe River paper. It is known for being fountain pen friendly. I don't have a fountain pen. I have a rollerball pen, and I like rollerball pens because to me they write like fountain pens. So I will be testing the paper using my fountain ball pen. Now, if you never had Tomoe River paper, if you think of it, it feels like, okay, so if you've ever had one of these little Bibles, they used to give these out free back in the day, but the paper is real like thin and tissue-like. It's not that thin. It's not as thin as this paper here, and you can kind of hear that. This paper seems to be of a better quality than that, but it's thicker than this, is what I'm trying to give you something to compare it to. It is thicker than this type of paper here. And of course, when you get little Bibles like this, you can see shadowing behind there. But when you're reading it, it doesn't bother you. So this is an area where some people differ. Some people, shadowing bothers them. And again, like I said, you can see shadowing on this Bible, but it shouldn't really bother you if you're focused on the words on the paper, if that makes sense. Now, there are some people like thicker paper. I have tried planners with thicker paper. I thought I would like it. I thought I would love it, and I ended up, and this is just my opinion, I ended up not liking it. It was almost harder to turn the page, and the paper can be too thick, if you know what I mean. If you're using your planner for personal purposes and you're not taking pictures where other people are going to see your planner, in my opinion, the shadowing shouldn't matter if it's just for you, because you'll be focused on the words on the paper. That's my opinion. Let me know if paper thickness matter to you. Let me know if you feel that way strongly about it in the comments. So with this paper, and let me do this real quick. I promised you that I would show you a comparison between the classic size. This is the classic size. It's 8.5 by 5 inches, I believe. What is it? But this is how it compares. So they call this A5. This is called classic. Classic size and A5 size are different. So if you line these up, I'm going to line them up at the bottom here. Let's see. You see how the A5 is wider over here in this planner. Just by a little bit, not much. And up here, the classic size is slightly taller. So if I line this up, there you can see the classic size sitting up. It's a very small difference. In fact, if you take the extra wideness over here and put it up top, you probably have the same square footage on here as you do on here. It's just that this paper is a little longer, a little more narrow place. But one pro with a bounded planner like this is that when you write, I happen to be right-handed. When you write, you don't have to stop when you get to the rings. So that's one complaint I hear about rings sometimes. When you write, you get to the rings and you kind of got it. Now what I do, it don't bother me. Like I said, I feel that the flexibility of a ring bound planner outweighs everything else. Sometimes I do this. You simply take the page out, finish writing what you need to write, put it back in there. How hard is that? But some people don't want to do that. Or sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I'll just write this part over here. My hand is laying on this and I'll just keep writing. Is my handwriting as neat? No. But honestly, this happens to be a neat page that you're seeing, and it's not even that neat. If I could show you like some of the personal stuff that I write, which I wouldn't show because it's personal, but my handwriting is sloppy. A functional planner is going to have sloppy handwriting sometimes. If you see those videos and pictures on Instagram of neat planners, no. If you're truly a functional planner and you are on the go, and you're trying to plan something or just jot it down real quick, sometimes your handwriting will not be neat, and that is okay. If you write in here, there's nothing stopping me. I can write all the way to the edge of the paper, where in the ring bound planner, there will be this, you cannot pretty much write in this section because the rings are in the way. And so people tend to stop where this shading part stops. So in essence, you might have less room to write on here, and this may be considered a better use of space because you can write out a little further on this planner. Let's talk about Tomoe River paper. I'm not an expert on Tomoe River paper, and I'm probably saying it wrong. But back here, I'm going to do a pen test. I love this pen. This is my Botanica Cross pen. It is my favorite, and I will link it down below if you like it. Okay, so this is January 1st of 2022 that they included, and I'm writing Happy New Year here. So let's see. And again, this is a rollerball pen. It is gel ink, and it writes like a fountain pen. And you do definitely see shadowing. Do you see bleed through? No. Do you see shadowing and ghosting? Yes. So if that bothers you, that's a con to this planner. You wouldn't want to use this planner. Now, if I'm on this page and I'm writing something, let's say I write right over this. I'm going to put tomorrow is New Year's Day. Okay, so I wrote that down. Now, does the shadowing bother you still? It doesn't bother me. I personally think it's okay. But it only bothers me if I had to take pictures on Instagram and you can see that shadowing through there, because then that don't look good, okay? And here is on the other side. I wrote on the other side and you can see shadowing. But your eyes are learned to focus on the writing. So in my opinion, the paper don't bother me, but I know a lot of people prefer thicker paper. A lot of people do also, if you're the type that do a lot of stickers and decorating, Tomoe River paper is known for handling that stuff pretty well. And what will happen over time is that the planner will get thicker with your stickers and your stenciling and your painting and your Tombow markers and all that stuff. It'll just look like this. It'll look It's hard to explain, but it can get thicker and kind of grow with you. It won't look like this neat thing like this, nice and smooth, but over time it will get a little more crinkly. Again, once you put it in your cover and shut it, it should be just fine. Okay, now I'm sorry for this so long video. This is the second binding notebook that you get with this planner. Let's quickly flip through here. So here's the first page with your information on it, name, address, all that. Now this part is mostly in Japanese, and what you can do, I did take out the app, and this was like just an introduction. This of course is the time matrix with the 4 quadrants. This is the planning pyramid. All of this stuff is in the English version, of course, and that's why I happen to be familiar with it. This talks about the values sheet, goal planning sheets. So you get goal planning sheets in this booklet. Now, I think it is admirable that they made this separate, and I'm just going to flip through here. Here they're talking about the weekly compass, weekly tasks. I think it's a genius to put these forms separate from the main booklet, because I actually carry most of my goal planning forms separate. Unless I am working on them, I'll put them in here. But because, like for example, I have 1.25-inch rings, I can't keep every form in this binder. I have to make a decision about what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to not keep. Now, if you are utilizing your goals, you should write out your goals, for example, and then they need to go in your planning pages. So you don't need to carry around, in my opinion, your goal unless you're working on it or you need to refer to it often. So if you actually do your goal and plan it out in these pages, you can take that form out. So here are some forms that they're including here. I believe this form is on the roles and values. Okay, this says values. Now here you get some goal planning page. You get 5 goal planning pages here. And again, this booklet is mostly in Japanese. And then here's another section on forms, and there's like a table of contents here. So I did the Google Translate. You get a monthly spending form, you get a budget worksheet, you get an annual household expenditure record sheet, an annual expenditure record sheet. You get a meeting planner in this booklet, a contact planner, a client planner, an information record, and a project planner. Those are the type of forms that you get. So I'm going to quickly flip through these so you can see them. And most of these are also available in the American version as well. Then you get some more annual calendars here. You get 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So you can plan out. Then you get more future planning pages, because in this book only 2022 was included. Make sure. Yeah, you get future planning pages for 2022, but notice how this is in a different format. This is kind of horizontal, and this one looks more like the American format that we get. So you get additional planning pages for 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. You get about 7 or 8 blank planning pages back here, and that's the end. One thing that I didn't talk about, I think, is the color of the paper. The color of this paper is not stark white. It is an off-white. It is not yellow. It is, I wouldn't even call it cream. It is not too creamy. It is not too yellow where it looks antique or old-fashioned. So now I want to show you an actual example of how I use this planner. I decided to place the Japanese Franklin planner in my Anna leather wire-bound cover. This cover is in the color of carmine red, and it's absolutely gorgeous. This is a leather wire-bound cover, and I love it because it has lots of zippers, pockets, and lots of room for organization on the front cover and the back cover. It even has a see-through card slot here, which is something that you don't find in a lot of wire-bound covers. I looked around, and the features of this cover are hard to come by. If you like this cover, you can save money with discount promo code Tonya Plans on the Franklin Planner website. So what I decided to do is, for extra writing paper, because the Franklin Planner doesn't have but 5 sheets of plain paper in the back, I stuck in a Stology of Vet notebook in the size A5, and I put that on the left side of the wire-bound cover. And on the right side of the wire-bound planner, and that's where I stuck the Japanese Franklin Planner. And here is the weekly compass part. Now remember, this page is at the beginning of each week. And at the top here are the same things that are on the American Weekly Compass. The top part here deals with yourself. So here you will list the most important thing that you can do this week in each of these areas in dealing with yourself. So for physical well-being, I put, for example, to walk and lift weights this week. Then I also put down what I plan to do this week as far as the mental aspect, as far as spiritual, and as far as social. I really like how long the lines are because I really have enough room to write everything that I need to write. Sometimes on the American Weekly Compass, I feel that my writing is a little cramped and I have to cram everything in on the Weekly Compass card. The part under that is the section that's just like the American Weekly Compass card, where it deals with roles. So this first column, it's in Japanese, but this means roles, and this over here means goals. So what you're going to do is write each role and what is the most important thing you can do in each role this week. For example, my role as employee, the most important thing I can do this week is finish my performance review. It's due this week. So at the bottom here I really like this, is a place where you can write your weekly task. So things that you want to get done this week, you can put here. I use this for my C priority items mostly. These are things that I don't have to get done, but I would like to get done this week. So those priority C items are those things that I typically move from day to day a lot because I'm so busy doing my A and B items that are more important. So for example, for a weekly task, I have here that I plan to wash and change my bedroom sheets this week. I don't have to do it today. I don't have to do it tomorrow, but it's just something that I would like to get done this week. So I'll write it here. So over to the right here is the Monday page. And I like that there are 3 columns here. And you have your Q2 activities. Q2 activities are those activities on the time matrix quadrant that are important but not urgent. So you will put those here. And I have a couple of Q2 activities. What's important to me is that I make sure I keep up with my family, especially with me just losing my dad. I really want to reach out to family and be good about keeping up and just checking in on how they're doing. So I have a couple of Q2 activities that I've placed here in this column. In the middle column is where I like to put my work-related activities. So I don't have my work and my personal task mixed together. I really like that. So the middle column is mostly for my work-related items. For example, here I have that a priority that I want to try to get done today is to finish my performance review. And the third column, I like to use that for personal items. So in this column, I put a couple of personal things that I would like to get done today. So in the appointment schedule section, this is where you can write down if you have particular appointments that you need to get done that day. I have here that I have a team meeting at 3 p.m. and that I want to work on my YouTube video later on tonight. And down here, I like to write down what I plan to eat or what I have eaten for the day. And in the daily notes section, I can write anything I like. Here on this day, I wrote a quick list of things I plan to pick up from Walmart. So now, as promised, I'm going to show you how to order this planner off of the Japanese website if you're interested. So when you click on the link located underneath my video, it will take you to the Amazon Japanese website where you can order the planner. Now, you may encounter a screen like this where it wants to prove that you are a human and not a robot spamming their site. So there is a code here in the middle. You will simply click this field here and you will enter the code as shown. And it will take you to the Franklin Planner Organizer that I showed in this video. Please note that this planner also comes in the B6 size and the A6 size. And if you're interested in those sizes, you would just simply search for those sizes in the search field. I am using Google Chrome, which automatically translates Japanese writing into English. So depending on the browser that you're using, it will do that. And also this might look slightly different if you are using a mobile device. I happen to be using a desktop, so my screen may look different than what you see. Now, what you'll want to notice here is up here in the upper right hand corner, it shows at the time of this video that this planner is 3,630 yen and that there is a shipping cost. These will be translated into US dollars when you get to the checkout portion. So what you'll click here is add to cart and then proceed to checkout, and here it will prompt you to log in. Now, one thing I was surprised about is I thought because I had an American Amazon account set up, it would automatically transfer to the Amazon Japanese website, but it doesn't. I had to create a new account. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log in so I can show you the checkout process. Now, once you are logged in, this is the checkout screen. Now, it happens to be showing me everything in Japanese. So again, I'm using Google Chrome, and up here in the upper right hand corner, it's asking me if I want to use Google Translate and translate this to English. I'm going to select English, and everything is converted to English. And at the time of this video here, it shows that in US dollars that this planner will cost $51.26. And down here in the lower right hand corner, if you're interested, there is the exchange rate right there. And you will go ahead and click this order in US dollars button up here in the upper right hand corner. I hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know if you have ever used a Japanese planner. Please let me know in the comments. This is Tonya, helping you feel more organized so this can be your best year yet. Take care.